What's the best thing about middle school?
I like how we get to move around a lot and we can always go different place to place. Like we're not sitting in the same place the whole time.
All the freedom that we get running around classes. I like it. We get our own locker.
We get a lot more independency.
The free fruit bars in the morning and milk.
You're older than everyone, and you get to dress differently, and you get an iPad. That's the best part.
What's the best thing about middle school?
Mrs. Rubin.
What's the biggest change from lower school?
There's a lot more schooling. There's like an hour and 40 minutes more, and that there's a lot more homework to do. You get iPads, but you have to be responsible.
All the classes, and it's much harder, I would say.
What is the thing that's different about middle school from lower school?
There are a lot more classes and there's a lot of more work, so it's harder to keep track of everything, and school ends later, but I'm getting the hang of it now, so it's getting better.
What do you look the most forward to about middle school?
Well, mostly all the new activities we can do, including E2K and actually playing real sports with other schools.
I'm looking forward to run for student council.
What is the most confusing part about middle school?
Having to get from class to class with like a 2-minute break. If you're upstairs and you have to get to downstairs really quickly, it's kind of hard.
The work, like 9 classes that you have to deal with.
All the teachers, and then you don't know where to go. All my teachers and what signals they use when they're like, okay, write on the board if you're going to the bathroom, or raise one finger, so I don't know which one is which.
What do you think about the amount of homework you have each night?
I think it's a good amount. Not every teacher gives us homework, so we have enough time to do what we want.
How much homework would you say you've had? A lot, a little? How much homework do you do a night?
Well, I have 9 classes, so I'd say a lot.
What do you think about having iPads?
I think it's a good privilege.
I think it's much easier for me, including writing notes rather than writing on a pen.
I used to use paper, but now I kind of use my iPad for most of it.
I use my iPad to take notes.
You have a lot of apps that can help you like keep track of your tests and your homework and all that kind of stuff, and it's really helpful.
What do you think about having iPads?
I like it because it makes it easier if we need to do research in class.
What do you think about the length of the day?
I don't like it. I wish it was shorter and we had longer breaks. It could be shorter, but then we wouldn't have any free time.
I think we have a lot of breaks, but we get out of school really late, so I think we deserve a break.
What do you think about the length of lunch and recess?
Lunch and recess together, I actually like the same. The length is fine.
I think it's too short. We just need more time to, play and have fun.
Do you use Parent Locker, and what for?
I use Parent Locker to check what I have for homework.
Stuff on Parent Locker gets shipped to my email, so I use that.
How do you know when you're going to have a test?
So our teachers would put it on Parent Locker, and then we have to write it in our My Homework app on our iPads.
I have a quiz, and it was harder than I thought it would be.
Yeah, I had a couple in like Hebrew and English, and they weren't really hard because it's still the beginning of the school year.
Wait, I've only had one quiz, and I did well.
What do you think about davening with a minyan in middle school?
Well, I'm used to it. I do it all the time with my dad. It's definitely longer.
What do you think about davening groups that you have Tuesday and Wednesday mornings?
I think it's better than doing it in the Beit Midrash because it's a smaller group and you get to daven better without other people distracting you.
Well, it's shorter than davening in the Beit Midrash, and it's with a smaller group, so it's a bit easier.
What is the dress code for boys in middle school?
You have to wear pants and you have to tuck, and then your shirt has to be a collar.
You have to wear long pants, a collared button-down shirt tucked in.
Well, you have to wear button-down shirts, like these pants. Yeah, of course you have to wear sitzes and a kippah.
What is the girls' dress code in middle school?
Skirts up to your knees and shirts covering your shoulders.
The skirts have to be covering your knee or like up to your knee, and you have to cover your shoulders with the shirts.
Is that you're not allowed to wear sleeveless shirts, and your skirts have to be below your knees.
What is the middle school policy about when you're allowed to go to your locker?
The middle school policy is when you have breaks, lunch, recess, or any other time that you are allowed to if your teacher says so.
You're supposed to go at the beginning before all your classes, but you're able to go in between classes. If you don't want to be late, you shouldn't go.
Is your locker clean or messy?
It's very messy. You wouldn't consider it a locker in Canada.
I say clean.
Is your locker neat or messy?
It is very neat.
Messy.
Can we see it?
Sure.
Very messy.
Can we see it? What's in your locker?
In my locker. Bye. Bye-bye.
What is advisory?
Advisory is a class on Tuesdays and Wednesdays after we have davening groups. And in that class, we do projects about how we should behave at bat mitzvahs and bar mitzvahs and how everything should be, like how we should manage our homework and our time and how we should manage stuff better.
Who is on the student council and what do they do?
Well, I know that Jacob Bernstein is on it. He's like the principal of the student council, and I'm pretty sure he organizes what goes on, like fundraisers and stuff.
And they've helped get stuff for everyone in the middle school.
I really don't know what the council does, but I believe Jacob Bergstein is the president.
You expect me to know that?
What does Rabbi Bannett do in the middle school?
I have absolutely no idea. I am brand new to the school.
What does Rabbi Ross do in the middle school?
He's the head rabbi in the school, and he can also help you with your problems.
What does Dr. Froelich do in the middle school?
Like help people with their problems and stuff.
What does Mrs. Rubin do in the middle school?
Mrs. Rubin, sometimes she skirts people.
She is the head principal for English.
She also helps if anyone who has problems with any of their work or anything like that.
What does Rabbi Ross do in the middle school?
I don't know.
What advice would you have for sixth graders?
Do all your work right away.
Don't act like me and actually be good to your teachers.
Stay organized. Study ahead of time. Do your homework.
Take good notes.
Do better homework than us.
Use Evernote.
Get on your teacher's good side.
What's the best thing about sixth graders?
They come in every day with a smile on their face, eager to learn, and they're just a delight to have.
I love how hard they try. They're really hard workers, which is amazing.
They're the happiest group to be around. They're always looking for the next project.
The best part of this current year of sixth grade, their enthusiasm, their excitement, they wanting to be in every video that's ever made in Yavne Academy.